Good morning. How y'all doing? As of today, we are pre-recording this on Tuesday, July 4th. I know you guys and girls are going to get to see it on Wednesday. But happy birthday, America. That is what we get to celebrate today for. I figured since it's hard to see the fireworks during the day, I could come on in and get my show over with. So uh my buddy Justin Kulik decided he'd meet me up here, and we're gonna get this show done today. Gonna be a lot of the same old stuff. I'm gonna talk a little bit about Atlanta. I mean, they've been hot. Atlanta Braves have, so we're gonna talk about them. And then a few other things. I was scrolling up and down my phone last night that I saw and I wanted to talk about. The first one is NBA free agency, and just talking about the crazy amount of money going out to guys that um, I don't necessarily believe should be getting all this money. But that's neither here nor there. We're going to talk about that in a minute. And then the third take will be upcoming Heisman. We're going to talk about the Heisman. Of course, Caleb Williams is the front runner. He would be the first um, two-time Heisman winner since Archie Griffin, or I can't even think. I guess that would be it. He'd be the first two-time quarterback, or first quarterback to win it twice. That'd be nice. Well, anyway, we'll talk about that later as well, and then going to finish it off with just a few things about high school sports. So, which there's not much going on. It's the dead period, but let's go ahead and get on into the first take. We're going to spend the majority of the time talking about Atlanta, simply because I feel like that's probably what I know the best. I don't have to sit here and look at my phone to figure out all of Atlanta's and everything they've got going on, but I might have to for free agency because there are some names that are getting a lot of money in free agency. I'm just looking at this free agency stuff. This is nuts to me. This is crazy. How many people are getting all this money? Anyway, like I said, we're gonna talk about Atlanta first. Atlanta finished June, I think, 20-4. They were or 19-4, one of the two, and they just got done. Last night was game one against Cleveland in the new series. Bryce Elder went out there. He throws 92-mile-an-hour sinkers that just end up right down the middle, but apparently other teams can't hit them. I haven't figured out why this kid is so unhittable, but Bryce Elder does a good job of. He gets into trouble, but then he gets back out of it. He trusts his defense, which is really good. The Braves defense is really good, and Ronald Acuna, who is one of the best players on the planet, is insanely hot right now. Michael Harris hit 2 home runs last night. Matt Olson and Austin Riley didn't do much of anything last night, and they're still two of the best players in all of baseball. The entire infield for the Atlanta Braves is going to the All-Star game, and half the outfield is. One of the catchers is. They've got 2 pitchers going. It's 8 people. 8 players from Atlanta are headed to the All-Star game. That is just really, really cool. One other thing, too, about the All-Star game, Cincinnati got screwed. The only person they have going is Alexis Diaz, which is nuts because I thought TJ Friedel and Spencer Steer maybe not deserved to go, but deserve some recognition anyway. Spencer Steer, Matt McClain's been pretty good. Of course, Ellie De La Cruz has been nuts since he got here, but he hadn't been up in the major leagues long, so I understand him not going. I hate the fact that he declined the home run contest because he would have been a joy to watch, but he's not going to go. They did just get Joey Votto back, so hopefully Cincinnati can continue to hold up first place in the Central because I quite literally hate every other team except for the Pirates. I don't mind the Pirates, but they aren't playing very good anymore. But I'd like to see Cincinnati do some good out there, but they got screwed for the All-Star votes. But Atlanta's sending 8 players to the All-Star game, which is a record for them. I was going to sit here and say I've never seen them do that before, and that would make sense because they've never done it before. It is a record for the organization. And last night the power rankings dropped from the MLB Instagram page. I don't know who comes up with these power rankings. I don't know if they have any real justification for deciding to put the teams where they're putting them. But regardless, Atlanta was number 1 in the power rankings on the MLB page last night, just a tick above the Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa Bay Rays, up to this point in the season, they did have the best record until like late last week, and the Braves, who are 2 games behind total, like as far as total games that they've played, the Braves are still a little bit behind, but the winning percentage is better for Atlanta. So, um, this has been this has been one of the most exciting and fun baseball teams that I've ever got to watch. And now all of you know I'm an Atlanta fan. I tell you this every week. Um, I've got a few teams that I like and I like to keep up with. I'm wearing a White Sox hat right now. I'm not going to take it off because I'm bald, but I'm not going to show you my hat. But I like the White Sox. I like the Athletics. They are trash. The Athletics suck, but I've always liked the organization. But Atlanta's always been my favorite team. I have baby pictures I can show you. I'm not lying about that. But they've always been my favorite team, and I don't know if I've ever had more fun watching the Atlanta Braves play baseball than I am now. And I grew up in the 90s. I remember how good they were in the 90s. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that this team is better. I'm saying that this team is more fun to watch for me. Because as cool as it was to watch Greg Maddux throw 88 miles an hour and on the corner for 3.5 hours, um, don't get me wrong, he's one of the best ever, but this is a lot more fun to watch. You've got Ronnie and then Ozzie. Ozzie's moved up to the 2 slot. He's at 20 homers now. I think he's like tied for 6th in the league. They scooted Matt Olson down in the lineup, and he figured out that he could just hit everything for a home run. Austin Riley's OPS is sub 800. He's hitting 260 something, and he bats third in this lineup. He still has a higher OPS than basically all of the Mets, which is hilarious. But um, Austin Riley's having a down year, and he's still having a really good season. Michael Harris's OPS is like 730, I think, right now, which is a little bit low. 750 is about major league average. And so Michael Harris is a little bit under major league average, but he had to deal with injuries and a very, very bad start to the season. Again, he hit 2 home runs last night. This kid's hot. He's getting it. He's figuring it out now. He already had it figured out, but he's putting it together right now. So I was telling a friend of mine last night, I was sitting there watching the Braves game. I went to go see a friend of mine. He's a Reds fan, and we had the Reds on one TV and the Braves on the other TV. And so we can both sit there and watch our favorite teams while he does his job. I don't work there. I just sit there. It's actually really nice. But I was just sitting there watching baseball, and I just started to think, man, like Atlanta has 9 players in their lineup that could bat in the 3 hole in basically every other lineup in baseball. Orlando Arcia, maybe not. And I know maybe Michael Harris, you wouldn't want him batting in the 3 hole. But both of those guys get hot enough where they could most definitely carry a lineup. And they have in parts of this season. Without Michael Harris last night, the Braves were tied. Orlando Arcia also, by the way, is going to start the All-Star game. He's the best shortstop in the National League according to votes. And I get that Francisco Lindor is probably better. Dansby Swanson, I'm not going to say Dansby Swanson's better, but he's more expensive. We don't have to sit here and talk about that anymore. We've went through that before. But the fact that Orlando Arcia can make $2.5 million, which is a lot of money to me and you, but not a lot of money in the grand scheme of Major League Baseball. The fact that he can do that on a cheaper deal, he's perfect. And he hits in the 8 hole. Michael Harris is basically a glorified or unglorified leadoff hitter. I mean, he bats 9th, so it's like having a not Ronald Acuna Jr. version of Ronald Acuna, and it's like a Walmart version of Ronald Acuna, and he bats 9th. So they even look the same. If you mirror the images of their batting styles, they even look the same. So the fact that those dudes hit 8 and 9, and then it's Ronnie, Ozzie, Austin, Sean Murphy, who's going to start in the All-Star game. Let's see, Riley, Olson, Murphy. Man, what a lineup! What a lineup! Oh, Eddie Rosario, who I mean, he was the National League MVP, National League Championship Series MVP, excuse me, in the World Series run. Atlanta's got guys; they got guys everywhere, and they're starting to get healthy on the pitching front. Which I don't think it's plausible to expect Atlanta to be able to keep this level of consistency on the offensive side. You can't. It's hard to expect that, right? Um, but you can expect. I have to turn my phone off so it doesn't make any more racket. And that's let's see, new power rankings. Oh, we got new power rankings for baseball. This is Bleacher Report's power rankings. I'll let you know where they sit as soon as it loads up on my phone. Oh, it's going to start at 30. The Athletics are last. Who saw that coming? Um, but Atlanta, I don't know if you can expect this type of offensive output. But what you can expect is some of these pitchers to start making their way back, and then Atlanta to really become a full team. I really respect and love what people like AJ Smith Shaver and um, who was Dylan Dodd. I mean, the Braves have had to just pick up some guys and throw them out there on the mound just to see what would happen. Bryce Elder was one of those guys, and now he's going to go to the All Star game. So it's you really have to give those guys a lot of credit for what they've done. However, if Atlanta can start to get Michael Soroka back and Soroka start to pitch like 2019 Soroka, if they can get Soroka back, get Max Fried healthy, get Kyle Wright healthy. Kyle Wright led MLB in wins last year. By the way, Max Fried is the Atlanta Ace. By the way, Spencer Strider might win the Cy Young. By the way, Bryce Elder's going to the All Star game. You're talking about a complete team. It's crazy because they just went 20-4 in the month of June, slaughtered everybody, destroyed everybody, and I think they're getting better. Plus I'm obnoxious, so I can do all the talking for Atlanta. Those kids don't really talk much. Ronnie likes to showboat a little bit, but other than that, those guys they get up there and they just do their job. And they're incredibly fun to watch. And I don't know if any of you care about baseball. If you don't care about baseball, if you like baseball and you like having fun and you're flipping through the channels one night and you got enough money to pay Comcast because apparently they're the only folks that run Bally Sports, which is a whole nother deal in its own. And I can sit here and gripe and complain about that for 30 minutes on its own. But if you get the chance and you're bored one night just sitting at the house, it's all right. Turn your TV on, go over to Bally Sports, watch Atlanta. Watch them play because they're fun. They are really fun. I watched the whole game last night, and it was kind of boring, but it was as boring as an Atlanta game gets. Marcell Ozuna hits a home run. Michael Harris hits two of them. Ronnie does his thing. He got on base, scored, doing something else. I think Ozzie knocked him in. Bryce Elder goes out there, pitches 6 2/3. He gave up 2 earned runs, but 2 earned runs over 6 2/3. That's good enough for a win, and it was last night. So Atlanta, they moved to 1-0 in the series with the Cleveland, the Guardians, which is ridiculous name change. But again, that's another issue we'll talk about on another day. Atlanta, they're fun to watch. They're staying hot and they're getting healthy. So the offense may not be as hot in July as it was in June, but the pitching might get better. So let's just see how all that works out. What did I say the second? Oh, free agency. Let me get this free agency tracker I had come up. Yeah, NBA free agency. Here's what I saw. I don't know exactly when this post was made, but I was scrolling through Instagram last night, and I think it may have been Bleacher Report or Hoops Highlight. I can't remember, but I came across a very certain photo, or I don't really know what it was, but it had I think it was Drew Holiday or somebody on one side, and of course Michael Jordan on the other. And Michael Jordan, over his 15 years in the NBA, made $94 million. Now again, it's not like he's hurting for money, but there were 7 deals on like the first day of free agency that were over $100 million. Which again, inflation with the way our government's been acting since the 90s, of course, everybody, I need to make 100 million to, pay rent and gas. That's beside the point. But I understand that money is different now than it was 30 years ago. But the fact that 7 people got $100 million deals, and my phone has decided to doo doo on itself. 7 people just in like the first day got over $100 million. The Sun, I don't know how the Suns have any money, but apparently they signed Eric Gordon. How do the Suns have any money? That just with Ayton and Beal, Durant and Booker, they're over the luxury tax. Whatever. I don't make up the numbers. So Charlotte signing Miles Bridges. Corey Joseph to sign with the Warriors. They're Justin Holiday. That's what I saw. Justin Holiday he signed on a 1-year deal with the Nuggets. That was not one of the $100 million deals. LaMelo Ball. What has LaMelo Ball done? He got a maximum contract. It's been hard for him to stay healthy. What is it? How is it these guys make all this money? This is insane to me. Domantas Sabonis. I have his rookie card. Maybe he becomes the greatest player ever. But the All NBA center agreed to a contract renegotiation extension of $217 million over 5 years. I think these people are just making these numbers up. I don't even think this is real. Brooke Lopez. Okay. Kudos to Brooke and Robin Lopez because I don't know which one is better, but one of them has really just changed his game, and he's become a big part. I'm pretty sure it is Brooke. Reeves is heading back to Los Angeles. That's the kind of number 21, I think. White kid. He's not bad. He was pretty good for the Lakers. Okay, here's what I just remembered. Here's one thing that really screwed me up. Dylan Brooks, who is a good basketball player. I think Dylan Brooks is a good basketball player. He's going to get a 4-year, $80 million contract. And he's the one that, if you remember, started talking trash to LeBron James. Now, I don't necessarily care for LeBron James, but at the same time, I can recognize that LeBron James is better at basketball than me. The problem with Dylan Brooks is apparently he didn't know that. So he poked the bear. And here's the thing, too. If you're Anthony Davis or you're any of these other Lakers players, LeBron is your GOAT. He's on your team. I'm sure they all love and respect LeBron, but LeBron is your GOAT. So somebody starts to, if you're going to come at the king, you can't miss. And if somebody starts to come at your king, you got to buck up. And that's exactly what the Lakers did. The Lakers showed up. That a lot of them had the best series they could have had against Memphis and beat them good. But Dylan Brooks running his mouth is what got him ran out of Memphis. Now, I say all that to say this. I wasn't sure if he was going to get another job in the NBA. But it winds up that I think it was Houston. I may be wrong about that. Somebody loved him enough to give him $80 million over 4 years. That's crazy. But then I look and I see Russell Westbrook got $8 million over 2 years. Now I can't stand Russell Westbrook. I don't like watching him play basketball. He's got one of the goofiest looking shots. Again, all of these guys are better than me. I'm not, but excuse me. Russell Westbrook is only one of 3 individuals ever in NBA history to average a triple-double multiple times, and he's done it 4 or 5 times in his career. You're talking about statistically one of the best players that you could add on your team, and he got $4 million for 2 years apiece. And Dylan Brooks, who, again, probably a good basketball player, that dude got $20 million a year for the next 4 years. I don't get it. NBA free agency, I don't get it. I don't know. But hey, listen, we're gonna go on a little break. We're gonna take a little time out. I believe Justin's got me a commercial set up here for our little halftime show. So y'all go watch that real quick, and then when you get back, we're gonna talk some Heisman's and we're gonna talk some high school football.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd, the goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Experience Predators hockey all season long. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets and join the Loyal Legion today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets, and we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
Well, as promised, we're going to talk a little bit about the Heisman stuff. So, again, last night as I was scrolling through Instagram, it showed that Caleb Williams is the odds-on favorite to win his second Heisman, which makes sense. He won last year. He's an electric player. I was really hoping that the Titans would suck just bad enough to get him in next year's draft, but I'm assuming that one of Malik Willis or Will Levis will show just enough signs that it's going to make the front office believe that they can play football. And I don't believe that to be the truth. But again, my opinion doesn't matter. So Titans don't pay me. Then again, they paid Taylor Lewan all that money. So I guess they could throw me a few dollars and give them better than that. But let's see. Caleb Williams is the favorite. Jaden Daniels down at LSU, his odds are really good. I'm gonna tell you something right now. If you've got a few dollars and you just want to throw it on something, Joe Milton. I don't even know if I'm supposed to talk about gambling, but I'm just telling you, Joe Milton. And I'm a Tennessee fan. I'm being 100% biased here, but I need y'all to use your brain. Even y'all that, if you ain't a Tennessee fan, you can hate Tennessee. You can still recognize that they use an offense that is going to make Joe Milton look really good. If you got a few dollar hairs you can throw over on Joe Milton, I would do it. I think it's a good value bet. He's plus 2,000, plus 2,500 here and there. Another sneaky one that I really like, and his odds are improving every day. And I hate this because I was really hoping this is one of those guys that would be a dark horse. But Jordan Travis, who after last year had a pretty good year at Florida State, I think Florida State's got a chance to be a really good football team. If you didn't watch Florida State last year, Travis is electric with the ball. Quinn Ewers, the guy down in Texas, I love the way he throws the ball. He's going to have Arch Manning on his rear the whole time. I don't think Manning's going to get a shot at starting this year. I think Quinn Ewers, if he stays healthy, he's got a real chance to win the Heisman as well. Michael Penix, who you couldn't find me dead putting money on that guy just because what offense is he in now? I keep thinking Northwestern, but that's not right at all. He's in one of those Washington. That's what it is. I just don't trust that team or that offense to be good enough to put him in position to win. And same thing could be said for Tennessee. I think Tennessee can win 10 games, but they're going to have to win at least 10 for Joe Milton to be a serious Heisman candidate, right? Bo Nix, here's one I don't get. Bo Nix, I don't think has ever been consistent. If you could get really good Bo Nix for 12, 13 games, he definitely would be a Heisman candidate. But you get bad Bo Nix for at least 3 to 4 of those games, and that's the reason why, A, Oregon's not going to win enough games to have him in contention, and B, he's going to have those 2 or 3 really, really bad games where he goes like 9 for 22 with 112 yards and 2 picks, right? Like he's going to do that. And here's one I really like, and I wanted to bring this up. Kyle McCord, who you may not have ever heard of, looks to be the starting quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes. The cool thing about that is Kyle McCord was high school teammates with his receiver, Marvin Harrison Jr., who, by all accounts, is probably the most physically gifted athlete in all of college football today. He's going to most definitely be a top 10 pick in next year's draft. Marvin Harrison, I'm talking about. And Kyle McCord and him both have they've got a lot of chemistry working together. So I think that's, and Ohio State, look, they've always got great receivers. Brian Hartline, the wide receivers coach out there. Obviously he's a good coach. He's obviously a great recruiter. I think you got a real chance here for, the Kyle McCord kid to show off and do some damage. Got some other names: Blake Corum, Dylan Gabriel. I'd love to see Dylan Gabriel have a good season, but I don't trust Oklahoma to win more than like 8 games. Yeah, Spencer Rattler's way down there. Again, Will Shipley's way down there. Will Shipley at 8 plus 8,000. Where's that at? At BetMGM? Listen, I'm not saying he's going to win, but I like gambling. So there's that. Either way, I don't think Spencer Rattler's a good idea, only because South Carolina is in such a tough division. They beat Tennessee last year. South Carolina can 100% beat anybody else that they play against. I just don't see them being good enough to win the large majority of their games that you have to win for your quarterback to be the Heisman favorite. So that's kind of why I'm out on him. But we've got most of the reason why I want to talk about that is I wanted to bring up the McCord and the Marvin Harrison situation. And as much as I hate Ohio State, and I really do, Marvin Harrison is really fun to watch, and he's going to be fun to watch this year, especially with his old quarterback back. I believe that's it. I just wanted to bring up a few Heisman things, just show y'all a few of the numbers that are circulating. So, some of you might see a few things in there that you like. Might decide to make a few plays or not. But let me know. Let me know what you do. And of course, it's got my Twitter. My finger's not even in the screen. It's above my head over here at CVP51. Follow me on Twitter. Let me know if you think I'm right or I'm wrong, who you may go with Heisman. So, and again, we're going to go to the last take, which is local high school sports. Right now it's the dead period. Just not a whole lot going on, and that's okay. That's good. I think the dead period, blah 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 blah. I think the dead period is perfect. I think they ought to have more of them, and they ought to be longer throughout the year. I think some of these kids are as important as it is. I understand that all of them want to be professionals. Whether you're playing basketball or football or baseball, or tennis, soccer, whatever it is, I understand that a lot of these kids are trying to make it to the next level, and I get that. But you got to remember you're a kid, and I love the fact that one of the dead periods is right now. Like I said, Happy Birthday America! It's July 4th. Everybody go out, have a good time, stay safe. Don't do anything ridiculous, but go out, have a good time, hang out with your buddies. That's why I like the dead period. Gives you a little bit of time to yourself. I'm going to try and have the all-county soccer teams done. I need to hear back from one coach in each county, and then in Dixon, we'd like to get the all-county baseball team done. I got to get a few more stats on that, but that's right around the corner. July 10th, I believe, is the last day of the dead period. After that, football teams are going to start getting back, and we start getting ready for August 18th, which is the first game of the year, football. And of course, I'm going to be at the Dixon Creekwood game. I believe it's at Creekwood this year, but I can't remember. All these years are starting to run together. I've been doing this for a while now. But we're at 29 and a half minutes. That's about all the time we got for today. Like I said, follow me at CVP51. Let me know if you disagree with me. Let me know if you got something you want me to talk about. But y'all have a good evening. Go out there. Have fun. Happy birthday, America, and stay safe.